you guys. I'm about to get ready to interview for Meta. I am in the process of getting into the 12-month Sourcer development program. This will be my second interview.
This is Ty Timlett, a former Meta employee. She is among the 11,000 who are being laid off by founder and chairman Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook's parent company Meta is laying off 13% of its staff. From Meta to Amazon, big tech companies are announcing brutal job cuts.
The only thing that I got officially from Twitter was an email, and that didn't really give any specific reason.
And it was about an hour after that I found that my work laptop was remotely wiped and access to Slack and Gmail revoked. Checked in with a few US colleagues who were still awake, and many of them were reporting seeing the same thing.
I think dark times in tech. We're seeing it at Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and others.
From the world's largest social media platform to the world's biggest online retailer, why are global tech behemoths laying off employees? Are they anticipating a recession? Last month, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos tweeted about the possibility of a looming recession. Bezos, who is currently the world's fourth richest man with a net worth of $124 billion, advised consumers and businesses to stockpile cash in case there's a devastating downturn. Why is the global economy approaching a recession? And does the layoff spree in Silicon Valley spell the end of an era for big tech? Let's find out. A day before Twitter got its new boss, this happened. Elon Musk entered Twitter headquarters with a sink, and later he tweeted, "Let that sink in." He had a busy first day. Top executives, including Parag Agrawal, the CEO of the microblogging site, were fired. His next cryptic tweet was this one: "The bird is freed." It was an apparent nod to his desire to see the company have fewer limits on the content that can be posted. Following a week of uncertainty, the new boss launched his first major overhaul plan for his new company. On November 4th, he wiped out 50% of the organization's workforce. The company said in an email that it would alert employees about staff cuts and temporarily closed its offices, preventing access to official data.
An email went out in the early hours of the UK that confirmed the sort of rumors we've been hearing for a while about there being layoffs coming. The email basically said there'd be a large reduction in headcount. Obviously, the entire sort of executive team were sort of immediately fired at that point. And those were the people that we all sort of directly reported to in the chain. So once that's sort of removed, then it's kind of hard to figure out what's going to happen next. And we, weren't really told too much. Things all sort of went a bit quiet, so people were just kind of confused. And yeah, that's where we are today. So
initially there's shock, there's disbelief that no, this cannot happen to me. I've heard it happening to other people, but no. And then of course there's anger, there's rage, there's sadness, there's depression. There's also confusion as to how am I going to break this news? How am I going to pay my EMIs? What's going to happen? What will I tell my family? What will I tell my friends?
Many Twitter employees took to the social media platform to vent their frustration. Woke up to the sad news that I'm no longer a tweep, Gareth Field, who was part of the communications team, said in a tweet. And then there was this. An ex-Twitter manager said she got a commemorative note to celebrate her 10-year work anniversary days after she was told to leave. A bizarre exit indeed. Analysts say the cull is part of Musk's push to find ways to pay for the mammoth $44 billion deal.
Look, ultimately, when Musk paid the $44 billion, it put a lot of pressure financially on this deal with the debt. Big layoffs were going to come. 50% is an extreme number, and I think it just speaks to how dire the situation is and ultimately how much pressure Musk face now with owning Twitter.
This is a highly unusual way to go about a layoff, particularly in Silicon Valley. Often in Silicon Valley, a lot of the tech companies won't want to make these as public and are much more afraid of negative PR than in this situation.
Even just from a very cynical point of view, I don't think this was very well organized or coordinated or well informed as to what the laws are and what was allowed.
Soon after the firings, a class action lawsuit was filed against Twitter by its former employees, who argued the company was conducting mass layoffs without providing the required 60 days advance notice, in violation of federal and California law.
But when you have mass layoffs under the California WION Act, you would need to get notification, and that's 60 days of notification. And the failure to provide that notification means that employees could be entitled up to 60 days of compensation, which also includes benefits.
I have too much work on my plate, that is for sure.
Apart from the first round of layoffs, thousands of contract workers were also axed without any warning. These widespread cuts to Twitter's workforce have also raised concerns about the company's ability to battle misinformation. What impact will it have on the company's moderation capabilities? Maternity leave is supposed to protect the rights of women employees during pregnancy and after childbirth. Laying off employees in this crucial phase of their life sounds inhumane, but that is exactly what Anika Patel, an ex-communications manager at Facebook, had to deal with. Just days after Elon Musk's firing frenzy, Meta Platforms, the firm that owns Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, also announced that it would cut more than 11,000 jobs globally. This is roughly 13% of its workforce. Patel was among the unlucky ones. In a post on LinkedIn, she revealed the agonizing details. She said she had woken up at 3 a.m. to feed her 3-month-old daughter. At around 4:30 a.m., she got a text from her manager to inform her about the layoff, which was followed by a mail. She said, at 5:35 a.m., I got the email that I had been included in the layoffs. My heart sank.
So I think it's very, very important that we keep in mind that we are dealing with human beings and we cannot be irresponsible. We cannot just put our hands up and saying, oh, I'm sorry. You have to deal with it. So there has to be a human touch. There has to be some amount of counseling, some amount of discussion, maybe even a debate to see, is there any other way that we can move ahead? And take your employees with you.
These are the first ever mass layoffs in the 18-year history of Meta.
Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse. I want to share what we imagine is possible. The experiences you'll have, the creative economy we'll all build, and the technology that needs to be invented, as well as how we're going to all do this together.
In 2021, Meta spent $10 billion on the metaverse, scaling down its profit. Experts believe Facebook's parent company is battling soaring costs from its push into the metaverse amid a weak advertising market.
Facebook was spending like 1980s rock stars, and now growth has really come off significantly. The metaverse strategy continues to be an uphill battle. And in this macro environment, they're seeing a significant challenge from social media growth. And I think that fundamentally has really been the perfect storm for Zuckerberg and Facebook.
The days of massive growth for Meta's business are over. It is facing serious competition for user attention. It's facing more competition than ever for advertiser dollars. And Zuckerberg's two big bets, one being the metaverse, the other being its short-form video service Reels, have not paid off. A year into Facebook's rebrand into metaverse is still a murky and ill-defined concept, and there's little evidence to show that consumers are interested in it.
In a leaked video to his employees during layoffs, Zuckerberg accepted full responsibility. The CEO said he had made the decision to hire aggressively, anticipating rapid growth after the COVID-19 lockdowns ended.
I want to say, up front, that I take full responsibility for this decision. I'm the founder and CEO. I'm responsible for the health of our company, for our direction, and for deciding how we execute that, including things like this. And this was ultimately my call.
Indian techies currently in the United States on H-1B visas have been thrown off guard. There has been a long-running debate over the H-1B visa program. It is a non-immigrant work visa that allows individuals to work temporarily in certain specialty occupations. Visas through this program are sponsored by employers. Guest workers generally need at least a bachelor's degree in a relevant field. According to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, there are about 580,000 foreign workers currently on H-1B visas. Raju Kadam, who was part of Meta's technical team, is one of them. He says he has been in the US for 16 years and never faced job loss until now. This is what he posted. I am on an H-1B visa. My clock to leave the US has started today. I am reaching out to all my MetaMates, connections and the LinkedIn community to help me find a job. Otherwise, I have to leave the country with my kids. Meanwhile, unlike Twitter, Meta is offering immigration support to foreign workers who need it. The layoffs are expected to affect many thousands of employees across the world, including India. Two top Meta officials, Abhijit Bose, head of India WhatsApp, and Rajiv Agarwal, director of public policy, Meta India, have resigned. In 2021, the big five tech giants Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft generated a combined $1.4 trillion in revenue. Now they are getting a reality check.
The economy has changed quite a bit. The environment in which big tech is operating in has changed. Now, when that happens, big tech who quite frankly got pretty fat over the years. Things were going well. They seemed to be recession-proof, but maybe that wasn't the case because now, as everyone is feeling economic pain, we see these tech giants feeling that pain as well. So what do they have to do? The easiest way to bring up profits is to cut people, and that's exactly what we're seeing across the board.
Amazon is also laying off 10,000 employees in corporate and technology roles. The cuts are said to represent about 3% of Amazon's corporate staff. The online retailer plans to eliminate jobs in its devices organization, which makes voice-controlled Alexa gadgets and home security cameras, as well as in its human resources and retail divisions. Amazon has long been slammed for its warehouse working conditions and worker injuries. This is a scene from its robotics laboratory in Massachusetts. Soon after firing thousands of workers, it displayed these robots at work in Boston. The company's newest automation, Sparrow, could be seen picking out items to be shipped to customers, displaying human hand-like dexterity. It is the e-commerce giant's most advanced robot yet. It could soon replace the hundreds of thousands of Amazon employees who sort and send 5 billion packages annually. Will more people in the future lose their jobs to these machines?
We've been developing robots since 2012, and one of the things that we're the most proud of is in that time frame since 2012, we've actually created 1 million new jobs in the Amazon network, while at the same time we've deployed over 500,000 robots. So we don't see our robots necessarily as replacing people. We see them working alongside people, and I think that really demonstrates the growth that we've had, both in hiring people that do really important work in our network, as well as the robotic side of the world and some of the mobile robots that you see being built here on the line behind me.
Another tech company, another round of layoffs. Snap, the parent company of Snapchat, axed 20% of its workforce in August. The company said that it needs to restructure its business to deal with its financial challenges. Apple has not announced layoffs, but the iPhone maker has slowed down its hiring process. It is witnessing a drop in demand across products and services. OTT giant Netflix is not a technology company, but technology is at the core of Netflix's operations. In June, the media company laid off 300 employees, or about 4% of its workforce. It was the second round of job cuts. The streaming platform is aiming at lowering costs after it lost subscribers for the first time in more than a decade. And this is being seen across industries. BYJU'S is considered to be the world's most valued edtech company and India's most valued startup company. Earlier this month, BYJU'S said that it would lay off 2,500 employees, or 5% of its 50,000 workforce over the next 6 months. The decision was supposedly to tackle ballooning losses. Just days later, BYJU'S roped in football star Lionel Messi as a brand ambassador for its social impact arm, Education for All. The move received heavy criticism. The edtech major was slammed for mass firing of its employees in India, while having the financial muscle to rope in one of the highest paid footballers in the world. The second half of 2022 has been characterized by a series of layoffs. Anyone can be affected, and it can have devastating effects. How should one cope with job loss?
So first of all, remember that you are not alone. Okay, the second thing I want you to remember that just because the company has decided to lay you off does not mean that you're incapable and you will not be able to do anything in the future. The fourth thing is, please talk to your loved ones about it. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to strangers, talk to mental health professionals, talk to people who mentored you. Because when you talk, you get over the shame. And that's when you start coming up with solutions.
The dreaded pink slips, slowdown in hiring, slowing sales, and concerns about an economic downturn. The season of layoffs may be far from over.
This is something new for big tech because all we've seen from big tech is growth and growth and growth. And now we're seeing a slowdown. So where is the new area for which big tech can grow? That's what I believe the challenge is for all of these companies.